Hey there, I'm glad to see you on my channel. Make sure to subscribe as we post amazing stories every single day.
I met Emily when I was 15. We were both sitting at the back of Mrs. Langley's history class, half bored, half exhausted from our separate teenage struggles. She had her headphones wrapped around her fingers, not plugged in, just nervously twisting them as the clock dragged forward. I was doodling in my notebook, not because I had artistic talent, but because drawing broken cities and empty streets helped me feel a little less broken myself. I didn't even notice her at first. Not really. Of course I'd seen her around. Everyone at Glenmont High knew who Emily Bennett was. She was the kind of girl who didn't just walk down hallways, she floated through them. Everyone noticed her. But I was invisible back then. One of those quiet kids teachers forget to call on. But then she leaned over during class and said, "What are you drawing?" I flinched, not because she startled me, but because no one ever asked. No one ever cared. "Just stuff," I muttered, shielding the page. She didn't press, just nodded, smiled like it was enough, and went back to fidgeting with her headphones. But from that moment on, I started noticing her. The way she tapped her pencil to some silent beat. The way she stared out the window when she thought no one was watching. The way she bit the inside of her cheek when she was deep in thought. Something about her made me feel like I wasn't alone in being a little lost. That same week, she started sitting next to me every day. We didn't talk much at first, just a few words exchanged during class or in the hallway. But one afternoon, I found her sitting under the bleachers after school, crying. I was supposed to be walking home, but I'd forgotten my sketchbook in my locker. Something pulled me toward her. Maybe that same instinct that helped me notice sadness in my mom's eyes when she tried to hide it. "Hey, are you okay?" She looked up, eyes rimmed red, mascara smudged. "My dad's leaving," she said flatly. "He told my mom this morning. He's moving to another state for work. Said he doesn't know when he'll be back." I sat down beside her. Didn't say anything. Just sat. And I guess that was enough, because she leaned her head on my shoulder, and we sat in silence until the sun dipped below the fence. From that day on, we were something. Not quite a couple. Not yet. But something more than classmates. She started showing me her poetry. I started letting her read my sketchbook. She'd tell me about her fights with her mom. How nothing was ever good enough. How she missed the dad who used to build blanket forts with her before everything changed. I told her about how my stepdad yelled too loud, drank too much. How my real dad had stopped calling 2 years ago. We didn't need to pretend around each other. And for two broken kids, that felt like a miracle. It wasn't long before we started dating. We kept it low-key at first. I think we were both afraid it would fall apart, that if we gave it a name, it would break. But then she kissed me in the art room after school one day, and everything changed. We were officially a couple. It wasn't perfect. God, no. Her mom hated me, thought I was a distraction. My stepdad thought I was wasting my time. Even my mom told me I should focus on school and not let some girl decide your future. But when I was with Emily, I felt like I had a future. Like the pain and noise at home didn't matter. Our weekends became escapes. Long walks through town, sneaking into old abandoned buildings, watching the stars from the hood of my car. She'd bring her notebook. I'd bring my pencil. We built our own world. Messy, fragile, beautiful. Junior year was our golden year. She got accepted into a summer writing program at a college 2 hours away. I got recruited to a regional art competition. For the first time, we both felt like we were becoming something. Becoming someone. Then everything started falling apart. Her mom found her poems, the ones about hating herself, the ones about wanting to disappear. She called the school counselor, blamed me for feeding her dark thoughts. I wasn't allowed to see Emily for 2 weeks. When I finally did, she looked thinner, quieter, like someone had dimmed the light inside her. "I'm not okay," she whispered in the back of the library. "I feel like I'm suffocating." I didn't know what to say. So I pulled her into a hug and held her tighter than I ever had. After that, we started hiding more, sneaking around, lying to our parents. We'd meet behind the gym, in the parking lot of the old movie theater, wherever we could steal time together. The pressure built. We started fighting more. Stupid things. Jealousy. Misunderstandings. The stress of keeping our love hidden. One night, during a late drive, I told her maybe we should take a break. I didn't mean it. I just didn't know how to fix everything. She cried, slammed the door when she got out. I drove home with my hands shaking. We didn't talk for a week. It felt like a year. When she finally called, her voice was calm. "I don't want to be apart," she said. "Even if it's hard, even if it's messy. You're the only person who makes me feel like I'm not broken." I cried, like actually cried. That kind of chest-heaving, ugly sobbing I hadn't done since I was a kid. "I love you," I said. "I love you too." From that point forward, we were stronger. Not because things magically got better, but because we chose each other. Again and again. Senior year came fast. College talks, future plans. She wanted to go into creative writing. I wanted to study design. We looked at schools together, dreamed about sharing an apartment, cooking together, waking up in each other's arms without needing to hide. Her mom softened eventually, not because she approved, but because she realized Emily wouldn't change. My mom took longer. She always worried I'd end up like her, trapped in a life she didn't choose. But when she saw me building a portfolio, applying for scholarships, sketching late into the night with Emily curled beside me, I think she finally saw I was chasing something real. We graduated hand in hand, and when Emily read her poem at our senior showcase, the one she'd written about a boy who sees cracks as places where light gets in, I knew we'd survived something rare. We didn't have a perfect beginning. We had pain, parents, distance, insecurity, shame. But we had love. Messy, loyal, stubborn love. And that was enough. The summer after graduation felt like breathing fresh air after years underwater. Emily and I found a tiny apartment near campus. Nothing fancy. Just one bedroom, old wooden floors that creaked like stories waiting to be told, and a crooked window that let the sunset pour in every evening. We had a second-hand couch, a wobbly table, and a coffee maker that only worked if you smacked it twice. But, to us, it felt like a castle. Our first few weeks there were filled with laughter and small chaos. We burned our first dinner, argued over where to hang her poetry prints versus my sketch collages, ran out of hot water every morning. But for the first time, we didn't have to sneak around. We didn't have to lie. It was just us. I started my design program while she dived headfirst into creative writing. She'd come home with ink-stained fingers and stories that spilled out of her like wildfire. I'd show her my rough drafts, logo experiments, poster layouts, and she'd always give honest feedback, even when it stung. We weren't just lovers anymore. We were teammates, partners, roommates, best friends. Of course, there were bumps. Some nights we argued about money, stress, deadlines, insecurities. I had a bad habit of shutting down when overwhelmed. She sometimes got lost in her own thoughts and forgot I was even there. But every time we clashed, we learned something new about each other. One September evening, we got into our worst fight. She had an opportunity to submit her manuscript to a contest, one that could lead to publication. But the deadline clashed with our anniversary weekend. I had planned a surprise trip to a lake house, candles, letters, everything. When she told me she needed to cancel, I lost it. "It's like nothing I do matters to you," I snapped. She blinked. "That's not fair. You know how important this is." "And you know how important we are," I said, my voice shaking. She didn't yell. She didn't cry. She just walked out. That night was the first time we slept in separate rooms. I stayed on the couch, staring at the ceiling, questioning everything. In the morning, she sat next to me quietly, holding coffee in one hand and the printed-out manuscript in the other. "I want both," she said. "You and this dream. I don't want to have to choose." Neither did I. So I helped her format the submission, proofread it, gave her ideas for the title. We stayed up all night working on it, and when she finally clicked submit, we danced in the living room like idiots. The lake house could wait. By winter, things settled into rhythm. We made traditions: Sunday pancakes, Wednesday movie nights, rainy day bookstore visits. She wrote a short story based on the first time we kissed. I drew her as a silhouette, leaning against a window, headphones wrapped in her fingers. Then spring arrived. With it came a wave of change. I was offered a summer internship at a design firm 2 cities away, paid, career launching, but far. Emily was quiet when I told her. "That's amazing," she said, but I could see it in her eyes, that flicker of fear. Distance was something we'd survived once, but it wasn't easy. "You think we'll be okay?" I asked. She nodded. "We're not kids anymore." We spent those last weeks soaking up every second. Park picnics, long walks, roadside coffee at 1 a.m. We made a list of things we'd do when I came back. A bucket list of love. And then I left. Those 3 months were hard. The internship was intense. I worked late, called her whenever I could. She was busy, too. Her manuscript got picked for a mentorship program, and she was revising like mad. Some days, our calls were just, "Hi, I love you, I miss you, good night." But every letter she sent, and she did send letters, real ones, reminded me why we were worth it. "I still see you in my dreams," she wrote once, "even when you're far." When I came back in August, I didn't even unpack. I walked into our apartment, dropped my bags, and kissed her so hard we both laughed. "I have something for you," she said, pulling a folded sheet from her desk. It was a poem. About time, about space, about a boy who left and returned, and the girl who never stopped believing in him. I framed it that night. That fall, I knew I wanted forever. Not because everything was perfect, but because she knew me. The ugly parts, the scared parts, the parts even I couldn't name. And still, she loved me. I bought the ring 2 months before I asked. It wasn't expensive, just a silver band with a small blue stone, the same color as the first scarf she wore the day we met. I waited for the first snow, took her back to the hill behind Glenmont High, where we first watched the stars. I don't have a speech, I told her, my voice cracking as I dropped to one knee. I just know I want to keep choosing you, every day, through every storm, through every poem and sketch and silence. Will you marry me? She laughed through tears. You idiot, she whispered. Of course. I slipped the ring on her trembling finger. And in that quiet snowfall, surrounded by the ghosts of who we used to be, we started the next chapter of us.